I hope you guys are doing well. I've been getting a lot of videos from a ton of people. Really happy about that. Common question I get from a lot of my students are, why are my nails popping off? Okay, and then there's the, why are my nails lifting? So look, it's not as easy as just saying, hey, your nails are popping off because, one thing. There's a lot of factors that could actually lead to lifting as well as your nails popping off. So what I want to be able to address is some of the common factors that are going to lead to lifting. I like the fact that you guys are sending me videos. I really, really appreciate that. You can also just DM me if you guys are interested in sending content my way. If you're sending long form content through my direct messages at Salo, it's going to be like multiple videos, which is fine because I could break them down. But if you have one video, you could always just email it to me as well, greg@youngnails.com. That way I could see what you're doing. Just to break it down, I'm going to explain to you in a very, very thorough manner so that you understand what could be affecting. Someone said, hey, could it be the product I'm using? Yes. I mean, it could be. I mean, I'm not familiar with everybody's product. I'm only familiar with the way Young Nails works and how it performs. And if it's performed well, if it's performed like the way we teach you, you're not going to have any issues at all. Let me go through it so that you guys can understand, have a better understanding. And then for those of you guys, again, that are just being introduced to the line, I think this is really going to kind of give you a brighter picture. And just to remind you, I'm always here to help, right? So if you guys have any questions, you could always hit me up, let me know. We are here to answer questions. And just a reminder again, the sale starts this weekend. Starts tonight, actually, right? Starts tonight at 9 o'clock. Yeah, 9 p.m. Pacific, mega. It's going to be mega. So for those of you guys that are excited to try Young Nails for the first time, this is definitely it. All right, let's get to this. All right, so what I've done is I've just put a plastic finger on here. And, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of set this up. So let's just assume that we have a, average size nail. I'm going to try to clip off of the majority of the product I can, right? For those of you who are just starting nails, I want to explain something. Using a hand file and going like this is not going to prepare the nail. Like diamond, using bits like diamond or carbide, right, to prep the nail. These are not the bits that you want to use when you're preparing the natural nail. What I want to be able to show you, let me see if I have a bit right here. Hold on. Do we have a arbor band here, Jorge? I don't see it. That's weird. I could have sworn. Sorry, I'm dragging you guys over to my station. I don't see my barrel. There is no arbor band here. Did they use it downstairs?
We haven't used it. I can go check them.
Okay, he's going to run downstairs real fast and check for me. And while he's doing that,
You just need an arbor band?
I just need an arbor band. I'm going to show you guys with a hand file just to give you guys a really good understanding. So if you have a brand new hand file, what I want you to be able to do is I want you to be able to take the edges off the hand file so that you don't cut your client, because not everybody has an electric file, correct? So if you have to remove shine using a hand file, what I want you to be able to do is I want you to start right here in dead center, and I just want you to lightly, right, just lightly feather around the perimeter, just barely touching. You can see how well I'm able to remove the shine around the edge, just gently remove shine. Then I want you to do the same thing on the opposite side. You can see kind of the angle. I don't want to be on the skin. I want to be like right here, right? So I just want to be really light as I'm coming around the perimeter, just kind of lightly tickling away the shine around that perimeter. And what this is going to do, it's going to ensure that you're going to remove shine really well around the edge where a lot of lifting occurs, okay? So once you're done doing that, what we want to be able to do is use the body of the file. Again, you can see I'm just holding it like this, right? I'm not going to hold it like this, just here at the side. And I just want to lightly come through and tickle away all the shine on the surface. I'm not being aggressive. I'm being very, very gentle so I could thoroughly remove shine from the surface. You can see I have a little bit right there. I'm just going to tickle that away. Do not be aggressive. You want to be as gentle, almost like you're tickling the surface, but you can see how thorough the surface is. My nail instructor, I remember when I was in school, this was 25 years ago, she was trying to explain to me that the coarser the hand file is, the better the product is going to stick. That's not true, okay? That is absolutely false. What you want to be able to do is use a medium grit file, just a medium, and you just want to lightly feather away the shine from the surface of the nail. Now, this is the slowest way to do it. What you want to be able to do is you want to be able to use an arbor band. Jorge is running downstairs to grab me one right now. Perfect. Thank you, my friend. No, I need the barrel. Oh, it's right here. I got it. Yeah, I found it. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Okay, so we got it. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Okay, so this one is dirty. I want to show you. So there's a brand new one here. I want to show you guys how to get this off. If you can't physically get this off or pull this off, you can take some toenail clippers and you could just peel away the edge right here. And then what that is going to do, it's going to allow you to just kind of get that off so that this just slides off, right? That's going to be the easiest. That way you don't have to yank it off of the E-file. And then when you're putting a new one on, if you can't get it all the way down, as long as the barrel's inside, then you can push it down nice, right? Nice and tight. I'm going to turn my electric file on, and then we're going to go down to 3,000 RPMs. Very gentle. A very, very subtle motion. And what we want to be able to do, again, is if we are tickling shine away from the surface of the nail, I want to make sure that we are using a very, very gentle pressure. I don't need to be aggressive. Oops, sorry. This pod is falling down. So I want to be gentle, right? I want to tickle, 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 tickle. Someone sent me a video of their work, and they had a diamond bit, and what they were doing is they were doing this. They literally had the machine on, and they were working really fast, and they were just doing this. They were just like, like that is going to burn your customer. You don't want to sit here and run the machine on the nail for this long. You want to be able to use a very, very light feathering motion, right? So you can see it. Tickle, tickle. I'm feathering, right? I'm being very, very light. So on the inside of my wrist, I'm using a tickling motion. It's almost like I'm using this part of the barrel. If I had another piece of plastic on the surface of the trainer hand right here, you can see, right? If I was to go around the perimeter, look at this, and lightly, just like you can see, I'm using very light motions. Every time I tickle one little section, I'm constantly moving around as I'm tickling, right? You can see how I was able to go around. I'm not going like this. I'm focusing on getting around with that part of the barrel. Now, for me to remove shine from the balance of the nail, look at this. I'm using a very light feathering motion. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Coochie, coochie, coo. All the way through. I do not need to be super aggressive. You can see how fast and effective this is. This is how you're going to get the shine off the surface of the nail without doing damage to your customer's fingers. This is what you need to be able to do. You cannot prepare the nail like with diamond bits, right? Like If you're an advanced nail technician, that's another story. If you're a beginner, you have to be able to use the same surface, because this is this zebra arbor band is like the same surface as the zebra file. So you want to be able to use something that's going to lightly texture the surface of the nail, and it's going to prepare it for application. That's step one, okay? Now, we have to be able to use swipe to clean the surface. So if you don't have this, I don't know if you're not using this cleanser, again, I can't make recommendations for anything else because I don't know what everything else does. I know this is going to really clean the surface of the nail. And when you are applying protein bond, for those of you guys that are gluing tips on, after you're done gluing the tips, make sure you blend the tip, clip the tip, blend the tip, kind of remove, because I saw someone glue the tip on today and then take the glue and flood the whole entire center with glue. And then she put protein bond on. Once, that's not going to cut it. If you glue the tip on and clip it, not only do you have to blend the tip, shape the tip, and just kind of remove shine from the tip, whatever excess glue you put on the nail has to be kind of prepped off. I'm not saying take it off the tip, but whatever's on the nail is going to affect the acrylic bonding as well. You must do 2 coats. 1 coat, right, all the way through. I would do the same thing. If I was doing that on all the fingers, I would come through, I would apply 1 coat, and then I would go back and apply my 2nd coat. You need 2 coats of protein bond to ensure that you have great adhesion. Okay, now I'm going to use Speed Clear just as a demonstration. Okay, so the next thing is application. And when I saw a student of mine who is wanting to get better in application, and she told me, she was like, look, I'm not getting lifting with everybody. It's just a few people that I'm getting issues with. Why is it? So my question to her was, okay, how is your application? You're like, is it dry? And what I mean by that is this. If I take my brush, right, and if I take my brush and I tap out this liquid and I get this bead, right, and then I just kind of wait here for a second, or let's say I tap this off because I don't want it to run. If I set it to the surface, I'm going to show you something. If I set this to the surface, you see how stiff that is? Look at this. So if you see how stiff this bead is? I have to force it into place. This is not moving at all. This is what I call this is like a clay-like consistency. I would physically have to force it into place. This is going to create a ledge. You see that ledge that it has built? If I'm going to the side profile, do you see that ledge? That is right there. That's not leveling at all. If you have a consistency, this might feel good right off the bat. And I understand a lot of you beginners that are working, right? You're like, wow, I like it because when I set it down, it doesn't run all over the place. It just sits where I want it. I'm going to tell you guys right now, dude, no bueno. No bueno. That is not what you want. That's not good. You have to get a consistency that is going to level. It has to move. You have to trust the run. So what we need a consistency that looks like this. Okay? So take a look. I'm going to go ahead and remove this from the surface before we get into anything. Let me just pull this off real fast because it's not dry. Let me just kind of wipe down the surface with my brush. All right, now the consistency that we need. I need self-leveling, right? And since I'm working with the speed powder, I don't need to drain anything. I need to submerge my brush. I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to pick it up, and when I set it down, it's going to move, okay? Watch. Submerge my brush, bounce, bounce, bounce. I immediately go right around the cuticle area. Watch this. Do you see as I touch? Look at how easy this is for me to move. Don't worry about actually doing anything to the body. I want to stress something. This area right here, if you look at the side profile now, do you see how there's no ledge? Like it literally tapers down into the back end with basically a really tight seal. So when you are working around the perimeter of the nail, okay, here's the thing. If I'm looking at it from the side profile, and I have, right, this is the nail plate. When you lay that bead down at the cuticle area right here, the bead has to start to level. It has to move on its own. That way, when you touch the back, it's going to leave what I call a really tight perimeter. Sorry, let me just get this. Okay. What I mean by tight perimeter is we need to make sure that we have it flush. Do you see how it is like this? Even if it was just slightly up, that's okay. That's going to file tight. What you do not want, if this again was the nail, you don't want a giant ledge. You don't want a ledge. If you have a ledge like this, you're going to have to file a lot, right? Which is going to disrupt the bond when you're building. So if I have a nail like this, let me just go ahead and build out a free edge so that I can show you. I'm going to use one of those new nail forms that we're launching tonight. Pumped. It's going to be sick. All right, so I'll just show you guys real fast too. You could pinch in the middle. I've got this really cool way. I pinch in the middle, boom. That's going to hold a really great shape. And then what you could do is you could open these up. So for those of you guys that are into sculpting really, really long nails, this is going to be epic. And then what I could do is I could hold the side, pinch here, and then if I need to pinch the front end, I'll be able to do it. Be great. I'm not going to build anything too crazy. I just want to be able to show you if I'm picking up. Now, here's the thing. If you're working on the tip, yeah, go ahead and drain it. Dude, I don't care. Because what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to set this to the surface. And you can see now it doesn't run, right? Now I could use the body of my brush. I could walk it up to the edge. Boom, right? I love the clay-like feel. Clay-like feel on the form. Very, very good. That's what you want, right? So like again, if you have a consistency where it is clay-like and you're actually able to build it nice and tight and flush to the tip, dude, that is great. But when you are working around here, you cannot have it like this consistency. You need it to flow. So watch, you can see from the side profile. Now, I just built out a tip because it's easier, it's way faster and way easier than actually gluing on a tip because I have acrylic attached to the front end. There's no glue. This is a much stronger bond than using glue. When I'm applying it to the back end, let's just hold this angle right here. Notice my brush, right? My brush is at an angle. The finger's angled down, but like if I turned it straight like this, what it actually looks like is like this. You see that angle? But since I'm holding the finger down at this angle, and then I keep my brush straight, take a look at the angle, right? So when I set it down, all I need to focus on is touching the back end while everything is leveling, and everything is going to be running this way. That's huge. That is how you're going to eliminate it getting too dry around the cuticle area. Now, again, if you're working with a speed product, my recommendation is to go a little bit more on the wet side. And so you'll notice I submerge my brush. I'm going to bounce, 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 bounce. I'm just going to hold it for a couple of seconds. I'm going to literally set it down. I'm going to release immediately. Press, press, press. Wow, look at it flow. You see how it's flowing down? But it's not running out of control. I could lightly brush it from the front, but you notice that after I'm done pressing the cuticle area, I don't need to mess around with it anymore. I'm done. I could really focus on just using the tip of my brush if I wanted to and just kind of come through and brush this arch. Excuse the glitter. Look at this. I could just brush this through. I don't care if it fills the whole entire thing. You can see that as I start to brush everything through, you see, look at that. Everything is tight. Everything is nice and tight all the way around because I allowed it to self-level as it was running down the nail. So now, if I have to fill this area, now this is easy. All I would have to do is pick up a large enough bead. I could set my brush backwards. I could brush it up into the body. I can allow the product to run down towards the tip of the nail. I don't care if it's something that you sculpted or something that you glued on to the tip. All I have to do is just kind of hold it in place. This is how you're going to build your nails. Right? This is how you're going to guarantee that you're not going to have any lifting. The key is to ensure that the product self-levels around the perimeter of the nail so that it sets you up for the least amount of finishing around the perimeter of the nail. If you are laying it down too dry, no good. You have to. Clay-like, no good. Clay-like on the free edge, muy bien. Very good. You do not want to do that on the body, okay? You want to make sure that it levels. But dude, Greg, I'm afraid it's going to run all over the place. If you hold the finger down, it's going to run towards the towel. You need to get a consistency that you can trust. When I'm working with cover powders, you notice I get a lot of liquid, I pick up a bead, I count to 3 or 4 before I set it down. If I'm working with a speed powder, what I'll usually do is pick it up, I'll count to 1, and then I'll set it down. I don't have to count to 3 or 4. That way it starts to run. How do you know you're doing it right? Well, if you're touching around the edges and it's self-leveling around the perimeter of the nail, then you can focus on just brushing it from the front. It'll create a tight seal around the perimeter of the nail. It'll create a natural upper arch. It'll set you up for a perfect application so that when you get to finishing, you don't need to file that much, right? And that's the last step. Being able to finish in the least amount of time. You don't want to have to spend 30, 40 minutes. It should take you 5 to 10. 5 to 10 depending, again, very, very short to very, very long. Longer. If it's very, very long, like the nail I did a couple days ago, like if it's a nail that looks like this, right? Like you can see, if that was on my nail, like if someone's wearing a nail that's like that long, that's burly, right? We don't want to, like, that's going to take probably 30 minutes to file a whole set, like depending on the length that you're going to be building. So it all depends. But I want to make sure that you understand, right? If you guys are sending me questions and saying, why is my product lifting? I mean, it's not just one thing. It could be the product you're using, all right? If it's not Young Nails, I don't know what to say. If you are using Young Nails and you're having issues, it's usually a combination between 3 things. It's your prep or your application, and those 2 things will usually lead to filing way too much, which can disrupt the bond of the natural nail. Okay? Hit me up. Let me know if I can help in any way. I really appreciate you. I love you much. I'll see you soon. Peace.